It has nothing to do with timeline for me. Sometimes I'll write part of a song and then I'll forget about it and then months later I'll pick it back up.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I am a TAC member. I use she, her pronouns. I am a junior of Tacoma School of the Arts.
Hi, I'm Carolina. I'm also a TAC member. I prefer they, them, and I am a senior at Curtis High School.
Hi, I am Greta Lau. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm also a junior at Soda High School with Rachel.
This is our first episode of Project Art Eyes. Our mission for this project is to lift up teen artists who have a voice and who wants to use their voice for good. We're going to start by playing a fun game, Song Association.
Oh no.
Nice.
I figured that since you are a performing artist, and not only a performing artist, but a songwriter, you can come up with these things on the go.
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay.
be difficult.
I will give you 10 seconds for each word. Let's
Okay.
try. The first word is love.
Oh, that should be easy. Um, can you feel the love tonight?
Okay. Second, night.
Um, a different one. Um, oh, night.
It's the same one.
I don't know. I want to be night. Nah.
Too bad. Carolina, do you know one?
My first thought was Night Changes by One Direction.
That's a good song. Third word, wonder.
Wonder. Oh, Shawn Mendes. Wonder. I wonder what it's like to be loved by you. Great album. Really like that one.
I actually took that from your song.
Oh, yeah. No More Love. Now I got it.
Your last word, I don't think I need to count. Lavender.
Lavender by Greta Lau. You smell like lavender and dreams, and your eyes are the prettiest things. The very first song I ever released.
Can you talk more about that song? Why did you release it? What is it inspired about?
Yes, I can. So back in July or June when I was starting to plan some releases for releasing original songs, I was trying to pick the first one that I thought would bring the best energy and the best representation of me. So if that was the first song that you heard of mine, I wanted it to really represent kind of what I was about. And Lavender is a song that I wrote that I think a lot of people can relate to. And it's kind of about knowing somebody, or even I think you could relate to it if you are that somebody who struggles with, loving themselves and appreciating themselves. So there's lines in the song that are basically like, if you don't understand your worth, then how are you ever going to believe me? So that was kind of the inspiration behind Lavender, and I think that's a really important message, and that's why I chose that song to be the first one I released.
And you also released two versions.
So on my EP Black and White, there's the Lavender remix featuring Emily McGill. And for anybody who doesn't know, Emily is an amazing songwriter and singer, and somebody who's really, really close to me. I wanted to feature her on the track because I thought that that would bring a new light to it and kind of revive it and to add something a little different. And she came up with some amazing harmonies. I was a really big fan of it, and that's why I decided to put it on the EP.
Black and White is on Spotify, Apple
Apple
Music.
Music, it's on YouTube. You can find that on SoundCloud, all the streaming services.
So about your EP, Black and White, where did that come from?
I began songwriting 4, 5, 6 years ago. I'm not really sure. Shortly after I started playing guitar, and Black and White was one of the first songs that I ever wrote, which is crazy to think that to this day it has remained one of my favorites, even though I've written probably, I don't know, 100 songs by this point. It's a story that keeps coming up back in my life, which can be frustrating because I thought I was past that. And it's about how nobody is ever quite clear about their intentions or communicate their feelings. Nothing is ever painted in black and white. And so that's why I chose that as the title track. It also features songs like The One, No More Love, and the Lavender remix. I think it was the perfect little like package, the beginning to get into releasing songs, because I've been performing for years, but recording is still relatively new.
How did you choose those four to make it onto the EP?
When picking songs to release, it's just about finding the energy and kind of the flow that I think would create something that people would enjoy. I have a lot of songs and I do plan on releasing them all. It's just about the correct timing and when it happens.
So in the EP, there are so many other songs, Black and White, Lavender, No More Love, and The One. Is there a reason that is in that order?
So If you listen from the start of my EP to the end, I think it kind of takes you on a roller coaster of my emotions and stories that aren't necessarily in chronological order, but just kind of what felt right.
So my personal favorite from the EP is No More Love.
Yeah?
I did not think it would be.
Well, as somebody who knows you, that wouldn't be my first pick.
What would have thought?
Honestly, I would have thought you would have liked the one the best. I think it kind of matches your vibe.
That's my favorite personally.
It's my favorite to perform of the songs. Maybe not my favorite off the EP, but definitely it's very fun to perform.
I personally love No More Love because I have a song very similar to this, and that writing that moment. I feel like most of your songs are like about a general person, a general time, but No More Love is about a specific moment when you change. A line is when you said, find a place in between love and heartbreak. That line just kills me every time I hear that.
If you listen to that song, it hits you really hard. The very beginning, before any of the sounds come in, you can hear there's a little clip of me inhaling, and it was actually taken when I was recording vocals for that song. I got really emotional and I kind of got caught up in my feelings and I started crying when I was still recording. So when I went back and I ended up taking a clip from that and adding it to the song just because it is such a raw emotion song that I wanted to keep it as authentic as possible.
I wonder where you are right now, and if you're thinking of me, 'cause I wish that you were here right now. In your arms is where I wanna be. I will break my heart in two just to make it fit for you. I will make a place for us in between heartbreak and love, just for you.
What about Black and White? That's what you opened the EP with. You said that was the first song you wrote.
So I opened the EP with Black and White, and it talks about how people aren't always honest. They don't always express their opinions, and how I've struggled with that. You know, I can't read people's minds, and sometimes I wish that I could. Throughout the rest of the EP, I think all of my songs are almost a little black and white. They are very clear in their lyrics and they give off very specific emotions. I wanted to make the cover art black and white because I think the overarching theme goes along throughout the whole EP.
You have a new single.
I do.
By the time it's uploaded, it will be out. Can you talk about it? What it is?
My upcoming single or newest release single is going to be Expectation. It's been performed once live, and the reason for that is because it's my only song so far on piano. My predominant instrument is guitar and bass guitar and vocals, so when I wrote this song, I composed it on piano, which was definitely way outside of my comfort zone, but I think Expectation is a really vulnerable song for me. I write a lot about relationships and heartbreak and love, and those are almost comfortable for me because they're emotions that I've experienced and they're easy to talk about, but Expectation is more reflective into myself, which I think is sometimes hard to do and to admit when you make mistakes. So I hope that that can resonate with some people and hope that people will become a little more introspective and self-aware.
You've mentioned kind of an overarching theme for your EP, Black and White, as well as telling us about this single. Do you have anything in mind for a sort of theme for your upcoming full album release?
I don't want to give too much away. I'm releasing it slowly because I want to give people time to digest the music instead of just throwing it all at you once, because it is going to be a little more substantial than the EP. But it's definitely about growth. It's all coming out in spring, and spring is kind of the time when, you know, things are green and things are coming back and we're separating ourselves from winter and maybe some things that didn't go our way. And that's kind of what I've been embodying throughout this process.
Does nature have a lot of influence in your music?
Growing up in the amazing Pacific Northwest, that's a huge influence. And definitely for this next album, something I don't think people have noticed is how color has been influencing my music. My debut single was Lavender. My debut EP was Black and White. My album is continuing on that theme, which kind of has to do with nature. And as somebody who's grown up in a very natural place and spent a lot of time outdoors, that's definitely influenced my music.
I know that you've only recently started recording your own music, but when was that moment or a place maybe or a time in your life when you like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
I was talking to my dad about how I was maybe thinking about learning guitar. And so we kind of eased our way into that. I learned on a ukulele, I learned on some smaller guitars, and then it was one performance that I think sparked it. Made me get into songwriting, made me get into performing, made me decide that this is what I want to do, which was performing at a summer camp. I got up in front of like 70 other campers at campfire because we did like a kind of a talent show thing, and I sang Riptide by Vance Joy, the song everybody learns on ukulele, and everybody got up and like danced and was singing along with me, and it was such a cool experience.
Carolina, do you have any more questions?
Mostly what's left is like silly questions, so we could do some of those.
Let's do speed round. I just
Speed round.
I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions and then you're going to answer them as
Okay,
fast as possible.
I can do that.
What animal would you be and why?
A bear. I like fuzzy things.
What would be the theme song to your life?
Probably something from a musical. I'm not sure.
You've been given an elephant. You can't give it away or sell it. What do you do?
I would become a Disney princess with an elephant sidekick. I would have my own movie. It would have like a franchise and like knockoffs and toys.
Do you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert 100%. I think I have social anxiety, but also if I am isolated for too long, I go crazy.
What was the first concert you attended?
It was the Justin Bieber Believe tour at the Tacoma Dome. It was the greatest night of my entire life to this day. One of the best concerts I've ever seen.
If you could instantly become an expert in something, what would it be?
I wouldn't. I don't think I would want to do that. I like the process. I like being challenged. I don't think you really appreciate things if you get them too fast.
What's the best piece of advice someone's ever given you?
Be careful who you associate with because it will affect your life.
Our main theme throughout TAC is mindfulness and how we see that in our art, in our lives. How has mindfulness played into your art or just your life in general?
I think it has everything to do with it. I don't think you meet an artist who isn't somewhat in touch with that, with mindfulness and even just like feelings in general. I think you have to be reflective and aware to be an artist. For me personally, that's the only way I can make music.
What can you say to those artists, those teen artists who are still starting out, who are trying to find their voice, trying to find their sound?
You just need to start. Start anywhere. Just do it. I think 90% is just, getting yourself up and just starting.
Do you have a motto?
Just be kind. That's like really cliche and it's something to like, tell kindergartners. And we can get caught up in a lot of other stuff, but I just want to be nice to people. I think if everybody is happy, then we all gain from that. I just think we all need to be a little more kind to each other.
What do you want to say to the audience?
For anybody interested maybe in what I'm doing, if you want to get involved, I have a lot of things coming out soon. I have big plans and I'm really excited, so just stay tuned. You can follow me on socials. You can follow me on Spotify, on Apple Music. Just search Greta Lau or Noelani Lau and you can find me. And thank you for listening. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. I've watched you progress as an artist and as a musician. And now you're here with an EP that is incredible. And I know that you pour your heart out into every single song, and not just your lyrics, but musically and sonically, you've always been able to capture emotions that a lot of us feel but can't really express. I am very, very proud of you. I'm so happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. That means a lot.
Also, follow us, Tam's Teen Art Council, on Instagram at Tam Teens. Every third Thursday of every month, we do an open night where we talk about art and mindfulness and all these things to connect with you guys. And if you are at all interested to just hang out with us, it'd be really, really cool and really, really fun. I'm Rachel,
I'm Carolina.
and thank you so much for watching.